This week in Teach Now, we're talking about technology. To research this topic, I did some personal research online as well as having a cohort discussion, and I also made 2 surveys. One survey was for teachers and the other for students. With the teacher survey, my goal was to broaden my understanding of teachers' use, comfort, and interest in technology. For this survey, I was able to interview teachers from different countries as well as from different grade levels. So there are responses from kindergarten teachers, primary ESOL teachers, as well as math middle school teachers. As for the students, I wanted to do a general get to know you. So I tried to find my students' needs, their likes, dislikes, and overall interests. This way I could get a better understanding of today's students. Let's first take a look at the teacher survey. So half of the teachers I surveyed are now in person, whereas the other half are still teaching virtually. So that being said, there were some different tools that they mentioned using right now that they found to be their favorite. And then I asked them to explain why. So I'll go ahead and tell you guys about some of the technology that the teachers I surveyed found to be most useful. For the teachers who are currently in person, they talked about some tools within the classroom. So for example, things like smart TVs and interactive whiteboards. So they mentioned that these were not only convenient for the teacher, but they also helped to engage students, and they also led to greater creativity. For the teachers who are virtual, they mentioned things like Kami, Edpuzzle, YouTube, Flipgrid, ways to stay connected with their students. The teachers mentioned that technology allows them to reach students in different ways, and it allows for different learning styles to be supported in the classroom. It was also mentioned for English language learners that videos are a great resource to use. This could also be true for special education students or students who learn better using visual aids. One area that I did notice that teachers are not using technology is with tracking students, and very few of them are using it to assess students. I saw online an app called Top Hat. So Top Hat allows teachers to track their students using formative assessments, and it will actually grade for you, so it saves the teacher a bit of time. It's also a really easy way to keep track of attendance. So in this way, you can start to see which students are struggling. You can pinpoint those who may need more support and more help within the classroom. We've seen from our previous research that evidence-based teaching is really important. So using technology to gather evidence can be a way that we can bring about greater success for our students. The student surveys were also really informative and interesting. It was great to see even the young learners voicing their opinions and letting their ideas be known. So one of the most interesting things I found here is that the students really value interaction with each other. Many of them said they like to learn new things through the help of their friends or their classmates. I like the idea of Zoom breakout rooms, some way of allowing peers to interact with each other. There's also the idea of peer coaching and allowing students to help each other. I think this is just such a great area that teachers can dive into using technology now in the digital age or even in a traditional classroom, making sure that students are allowed to participate with one another and to really support each other in their individual learning journeys. Moving on to student needs. A few of the students mentioned that they need a bit more support in math. So the middle school teacher recommended Khan Academy as a tool for mathematics class, and for young learners you can also use things like Splash Learn or Math Playground, which are websites aimed at games that incorporate math skills. I also found a resource called Prodigy Math Game, and that is a game-based website that allows for individualized intervention, so teachers can actually assign specific things to different students, and it also will track those students with different types of assessments that teachers can then review the reports on. Looking at student interests, a lot of the respondents said that they like video games. So this is a technology that teachers could research and start to incorporate more of into their lesson plans. Some of the other interests that were most frequently noted were sports. So I think movement is something that's really great, and we can incorporate that into the classroom through things like Go Noodle. This was a website that one of the teacher respondents included in their survey. Overall, this week has been really informative in terms of what teachers are currently using and what I hope to research more on and integrate into my own classroom in the future. I will say that I personally want to look more into how I can track and assess students using different technological tools, and I also want to make sure that I am using technology in really interesting and engaging ways. It's clear that technology also provides us with a great tool for differentiating material to meet the needs of different age levels, different abilities, and different skill sets. I'm excited to continue learning with my cohort and to expand on my knowledge of how to more cohesively integrate technology into my classroom. So I appreciate you all watching my video, and I will see you next time.